What's going on, YouTube? This is SG1 Sports, and you're watching our college football channel. It's time for Upset Alert Week 7, and this might be the worst Upset Alert video that I've ever done. I'll explain why in just a second. Before we get to that, looking back at last week. So we give you the 8 games that we think are most likely to be upsets, where this point spread is 4 points or more. And if you go back to last week, 2 of the 8 games did turn into upsets, which is usually what the averages say when you pick these 8 games. And it was actually the 2 games that I said were most likely to be upsets. Louisville upsetting Notre Dame, and then the other game was Oklahoma upsetting Texas. I didn't pick Louisville to win. I did pick Oklahoma to beat Texas, but I picked Notre Dame to win that game. And then the other one was Georgia Tech upsetting Miami. Really, they had no business winning that game. Miami just take a knee, you win that game, but that was obviously a huge upset. And you look at this week, the problem with this week is that there just are not many games to choose from, because there are so many games where the spread is like 2, 3, 3.5 points. I mean, if you look at the games for this weekend, you can expect a ton of really close games. It doesn't always play out that way, but if Vegas is right, we're going to see a bunch of really close, really good games this weekend. It should be a lot of fun. So these are the upsets. Again, I don't feel very confident in any of these upsets actually happening. And that's why I say this might be the worst upset alert video we've done. Some of them will probably happen, though. Again, usually we get 1 or 2 upsets at least. And so we'll go from least likely to most likely, and just some things that caught my attention, some games that caught my attention where teams should be on upset alert. We'll start with this one. Okay, I don't think anyone's really going to be talking about this game as a potential upset. Arkansas, Alabama. There are a few things here. The game is at noon Eastern time. It's a noon kick, early game. Alabama's coming off of an emotional big win over Texas A&M. Arkansas is going to be a desperate team. They're 2-4 now. They've lost some close games. They're not a bad team, and they come in this game potentially just playing, with the season's really on the line. I mean, you lose this game, and they're probably not even going to make it to a bowl game. So this is like a must-win for them to save their season. Obviously, they're huge underdogs, 19.5 points. I just think they might keep this game close. I don't really see them pulling off the upset, but I think it could be closer than that 19.5 point spread. In fact, I think it will be. KJ Jefferson, dual threat quarterback, has played pretty well against Alabama in the past, so watch for this one to maybe be interesting. We're just going to have to wait and see there. Iowa, Wisconsin, 4 o'clock Eastern time on Fox. Wisconsin favored by 10. Wisconsin looks like they're starting to hit their stride. This team's starting to play better and better. I like this Wisconsin team. I ranked them. Iowa's just one of those teams that, because of their defense, you never know. Defense makes a couple of big plays, a special teams touchdown, something like that. The game's probably going to be low scoring, and usually when you have a low scoring game, a couple of plays can really change things. So I would feel better if this game was at Iowa, but you never know. Again, this series has had a lot of close games. I think this game will probably be pretty close. Next, we got Louisville and Pittsburgh, 6:30 Eastern time. Game's on the CW. Louisville favored by 7.5 points. And so this is interesting here. Again, Louisville's coming off of a huge win over Notre Dame. They're 6-0, looking good, looking like they might be a playoff contender. When you look at the rest of their schedule, it's not too tough. And so this team has a lot to play for now. And then you've got Pittsburgh. It's been an awful start to the season, but we know Pat Narduzzi's a good coach. This is still a decent roster. They're playing at home. I just wouldn't be shocked if this was an upset. Again, Vegas may be onto something here as well. Only a 7.5 point spread for a 6-0 team versus a 1-4 team. Pressure starting to build for Louisville. Now that they are 6-0, we'll see if it winds up playing into this game at all. I just think this is one to keep an eye on. As well. I think, again, I'm not feeling great about any of these picks, but I think we might see a shocker this week. I don't know which one it's going to be, but I think we might see a big upset. Tulane, Memphis. This game's at 7 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. The Friday night game. Tulane's favored by 4.5 points on the road. Memphis is a pretty good team, and you will see some group of 5 games here this week. We might have one group of 5 game in the video, but we've got a few of them this week just because I'm telling you, that's what the schedule is giving us. There are not many Power 5 games that you could realistically see an upset where the spread is more than 3.5. So, there's going to be a lot of close games more than likely, but this is one to keep an eye out on as well. Tulane, I feel pretty good about them, but it is on the road. It's a Friday night. Those are a lot of times upsets. Next, we've got Boise State, Colorado State, so we'll stay in the Mountain West. 9:45 Eastern Time on FS1. Boise State's favored by 7.5. They're 3-3. They're playing on the road. Colorado State, we know what they're capable of. They took Colorado to overtime. This is not a bad team. And Boise State's just not the Boise State team that they used to be. And I said that even before the season started. Things have changed with Boise State. They are not a powerhouse group of 5 team anymore. And wouldn't be surprised if we saw an upset here. Next, we've got Arizona, Washington State. This one's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on the Pac-12 Network. Washington State's favored by 8. Coming off of a tough loss. Arizona played Washington tough. They played USC tough. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they played Washington State tough and pulled off an upset here. Should be a good one. I think either way, that's going to be a close game. And again, potentially an upset. And then we've got Wyoming Air Force, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. Very surprised by this spread. Air Force favored by 10.5 points. You expect this to be a lower scoring game. So that spread is just, I'm not sure what's up with that. I don't know why it's 10.5. But yeah, Air Force, we know they've been really good this year. They haven't really played anyone great. Wyoming has been more battle tested, of course. Played Texas, pulled off an upset win over Texas Tech. You just feel like they've got a really good shot to at least make this a very close game and maybe pull off an upset. Again, I don't understand the 10.5 point spread, but I would keep an eye on this one. This one could be an upset for sure. Wyoming's a really good team at that group of 5 level, so I think that's one you have to watch for as well. And then BYU TCU, 3:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. TCU's favored by 6. This TCU team's just not very good. They're not anywhere close to as good as I thought they were going to be. BYU has been better than I expected. They're 4-1. Remember, they went on the road and beat Arkansas. I think they could pull off an upset here as well on the road at TCU. So those are the 8 games that I think teams should be on upset alert for, the most likely upsets to happen. Which ones do you think will actually happen? Maybe there's something out there that I missed, and give it to me down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more here on the SG1 Sports College Football Channel.